Hey there, guys and girls. Welcome to another episode of The Finnovator with me, Stuart Bell, business coach, founder of Mahadeea, and creator of the Leverage Advice Firm program. As you know, if you've been listening to this for a while, my goal is to sit down with a subject matter expert who operates within the advice industry, a practice member, a program member who's done really good things, or alternatively, someone with an interesting story to tell. And I decided, as part of sort of our 2022 agenda, I wanted to dive into this world of practice technology. I wanted to unpack some of those tools that we may know about, but maybe don't know the detail, don't know whether or not they're the right thing for our practice, as well as some of the ones on the fringe. And this Finnovator episode is absolutely a doozy. For those of you who know advisor intelligence, you will have had sort of a bit of a knowledge about a tool that is very much goals focused. Maybe you've checked it out a few years back. Maybe you know that they are a particularly well-funded and well-resourced tool, but ultimately we're trying to embrace AI as a means of creating advice. But if you haven't looked at them recently, my strong suggestion is this. I hope this is the catalyst for you checking the tool out in more detail, because my conversation today is with Ashley Mahadeea. And Ashley is one of the, leading passionate advocates and drivers of growth of this tool within the country. And when I first came across Advisor Intelligence, it was actually, I met them in a bar in Sydney, down there by Circular Quay, and I just got to chatting with Jackie and Ash. And when I sort of heard a bit about their approach and how they wanted not just to produce tools, a software tool, but produce something which could be the platform for a better client experience, for encouraging client engagement, and something that was a lot more, how can I say this, aligned with an operational model than maybe some of the other tools out there. I was just intrigued. And from the day one, when they gave me access to my own version, I started playing around with it. The thing that jumped out at me is their attitude towards what the future would look like. You know, their view that statements of advice of the future wouldn't be documents. There would be an online experience. It would be something that was a live, dynamic plan and using data to kind of enrich that experience. The fact that they saw client portals as being not just a nice to have, but something that is, an integrated part of your business, and something we want to, engage clients to use, and all the benefits of doing it, and lots more. It was one of the reasons why I really wanted to sort of work with these guys more closely and understand whether or not I could enable the work that I do, all the business models and the templates and the tools that often my clients are sort of asked to implement on their own, whether we could work with them to put it in place. And it's very much a work in progress, that one. But in this session, I had the opportunity with a good audience of attendees to really dive into some of the functionality, talk a bit about the journey these guys have been on and the evolution their tool has made. Again, really important if you haven't had a look at them in a while. But importantly, we spoke about what the future was going to look like. And I think with so much technology flying around and so many options out there and so many, well, I do go that way or do I go that way? I think understanding how your technology providers view the future of advice and understanding, I think you need to partner with somebody who their view of the future, their view of what functionality is going to be important, their view of how advice will change is aligned with where you want to take your business. Because when you get that alignment, suddenly you're reinforcing each other and you're heading in the same direction. So without any further delay, I hope you really get a lot out of this one. I got some great feedback off the back of this one. And I'm going to hand over to Ashley Mahadeea, who's going to walk us through the Advisor Intelligence story. Welcome to our masterclass today. I'm really keen to sort of get this going because advice intelligence is one of those tools that I think some people know about, but I think not enough people know about simply because of sort of where it's headed. I'm just going to jump into it. Ash, how are you, sir?
Hi, how you going? I'm well, thanks. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much for sort of being on the call. So first cap off the rank, whereabouts are you today? Where are we talking to you from?
Yeah, working from home, live from Bondi in Sydney.
Nice. Yeah, right on the front there or whereabouts?
Yeah, maybe halfway. Waverley Oval, if you know.
Yeah. There's is Kemeny still going nearby there?
Now they sold the business, mate. They've made enough money
Oh
for
man,
the years.
that place had some of the best sort of bits and bobs around. So it was a lovely place. Hey man, well let's just jump in and have a chat because it's Friday. I know there's going to be a lot of people who are watching this on the replay. So if you do have any questions and you want to shoot them through to Ash, I'll give you the address on where to do that. And we're also going to talk a little bit about a little something at the end of the session if you are keen to take it to the next step. But what I'd love to start it off is let's make an assumption that there's people who are listening to this or watching this who don't know what AI is. They don't know what it does. They don't know sort of where it fits. Give us the overview of advice intelligence.
Sure. I think that's a really good way to start. And AI is a goals-based advice financial planning software.
Yep.
So when I say financial planning software, I'm talking about a lead generation tool, a CRM, the ability to model strategies, to do your research, and to produce an SOA all in the one platform.
Okay, goal-based advice CRM, beautiful. And when you talk about goals-based, can you just give us the overview of specifically what is different from a goals-based advice CRM compared to, some of the other ones out there that are well known?
Sure, I think that's a really good question there, Stu. We've developed a unique methodology. So what I mean by that is we are able to link clients' goals to the advisor's strategies.
Right.
So we've designed a platform, so something that's never been done before. And I think this is one of the key takeouts I'd like to get, or people to get from our session today, is that AI is very unique in the way it works. There's no other platform that does this, that allows you to really demonstrate to your clients why you're applying certain strategies, because everything that you do impacts a goal probability. I'm sure we can go into more details later on.
Cool. So it's specific, it's linking goals to strategies, which is where you guys excel.
Correct. Yeah.
Cool.
So you can really and easily demonstrate the value of your work because everything is linked together. We are a goals-based advice platform. We don't have a goals-based advice tool, like a little tool. Everything revolves around the advisor's strategies and the client's goals and life aspirations.
What kind of businesses tend to use AI specifically? Is there a type of business?
I think people that tend to really want to have their clients engaged in the advice process, right? So if you just want to meet your clients one or two times, give them a document, see you later, see you in 12 months, maybe AI is not the right platform for you.
Okay.
Where we excel is with those advisors that really want to have their clients engaged throughout the whole process from the get-go. So, for example, when you're using AI, when you're meeting the clients for the first time or the second time, you're going through an interactive discovery process where, again, you are focusing on your clients' values and their goals, what they want to achieve in life. You're not just asking them how much super you have, how much investments you have. Of course, this comes at a later stage.
Okay, got it.
You really want to focus on the client's goals, understanding who they are, what they want to achieve in life, and maybe why they haven't achieved those goals yet.
Okay, so if you're a business that has got an investment-centric proposition, in other words, you're talking to clients about investments, and you're talking about the what you're doing for them up front, as opposed to why you want to achieve it, that's probably going to be less useful. Is that what you're saying?
Yes and no, because at the end of the day, every advisor would recommend investments, outside of super or inside super. But where our unique value proposition comes in is that the ability to link everything together.
Okay, got it.
Everyone can use AI. So we work with many different licenses, all types of advisors, risk insurance advisors. At the end of the day, we want to be an alternative options to the different platforms that has been there for a long time. Okay.
So what I want to do is I want to have a bit of a discussion and talk a little bit about how you guys got started. I want to explore a little bit about sort of the backing that you got, because you've got a lot of you're a well-resourced organization. I want to talk about the journey where you've come, and I also want to talk to you about the future, where things are going. But I'm also keen, you and I, when we talked about this, we said, let's not make this a features and benefits. Let's not dive into the software because, you can do that one-on-one. But I am keen to run through this because you sent this through. And sometimes these infographics can be super useful. And sometimes I think going through them one by one and understanding specifically what it does. So this is kind of a quick round the houses. And so let's run through this. Let's start here. Practice management dashboard. What sort of information is AI storing and reporting on?
I think once you log in, the first things you want to see are your upcoming tasks, meetings for the day, your client pipeline, but also not just this. You also need to be able to ensure that you're not making mistakes. The dashboards built in AI allows you to know exactly who's coming up for reviews, who's due to receive an FDS opt-in document, your fee documents, all onto the different dashboards that we have. So what it allows you to do is click a button, have a list of clients, and if you need to invite 10 clients for a review meeting, back in the days you would go emailing each of them or calling them. In AI, you're able to select all your clients and click of a button, send a personalized email to each of them, inviting them for that review meeting. We are designed to eliminate all the inefficiencies in the advice process. We have to spend so much time sending emails, 400 file notes. We want you to be able to do all those actions in bulk.
Okay, cool. Model portfolios is presumably clients are able to manage their own investments. APL, give us the quick overview of what that's all about.
Very, very simple there. So if you're part of a licensee that requires you to use a certain set of products, we can add in the system for you. So again, ensuring that you're compliant, you're not recommending any products outside of your APL.
Got it. Okay, cool. Service packages. Is that so you can, I imagine that would speak quite closely to the practice management dashboard, tracking what's being delivered against your FDS and your ongoing service agreement. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's not just obviously existing service packages, but the ability to create different service packages for your different types of clients, assigning them to those clients. But where AI is super unique is within a service package, you have a list of services that need to be provided over a period of time. What we allow you to do is tick off those services as you're completing them. And at the same time, an automated email can be sent to your client saying, I've just done this for you. You can personalize that, of course. So you're not just showing clients the value of your advice that you've given them, but also the value of your ongoing services. They feel part of the process. They know why they're paying for ongoing services.
So, and a lot of this is automated, presumably. Or
Correct.
semi-automated. Okay, cool. Digital fact finder, digital portal. We're going to talk a little bit about this later, but this is essentially, instead of sending everything out by email, you're actually giving clients the ability to log onto a secure area, provide information, get updates where things are at, and obviously, do all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah, exactly right. So cool. we have a lot of advisors that deal with clients that are quite tech savvy, happy to jump onto a portal, provide information, receive a digital SOA. So this is everything you can do in the digital portal. Again, we can go into this in more details later.
Got it. Yeah, we will do. And Dan, by the way, welcome, man. It's good to have you on board. Your name's coming up a lot recently, so thanks very much for joining me. Digital workflows and task management. We kind of talked about a little bit about that there. That's tracking delivery. Digital word SOA. We'll talk a little bit about this because I think I was talking to Jackie and she said originally you guys had this idea that you'd have just a digital statement of advice. And some of the licensees were like, well, we need a paper version. So you guys had to go and retro create. I love the idea of the fact it's digital only because, we've talked about this in the background. And I think to quote Henry Ford, he said, if people tell me what they want, we would have built a faster horse. And I think sometimes the digital SOA is the next evolution, whereas the word getting more efficient on the word thing is basically building a faster horse. Sure. So revenue management, it does that?
Yeah, definitely. So AI handles data from all the major revenue management system. You push it into AI and you get to do all your FDS opt-in documents into the one platform.
And from a pricing perspective, if you want to do a report showing revenue at a client level for over a 12-month period, which is very useful for doing pricing exercises, it can do that. Digital fee documents, presumably FDS and all that sort of stuff.
Correct. Yep.
CRM, strategy modeling. Lead gen, just give me the high-level overview of what it does in the lead generation space.
We have something called the interactive discovery that you can add to your website if you want.
Right, okay.
To your marketing campaigns that you have. Basically, you click on it. The client goes through a little process, as I've mentioned earlier, where they enter their goals. We always lead with their goals. Tell us what you want to achieve first in life. And after that, our system can give clients a very unique goal probability. And from there, this is what pushes them to get advice. We've done extensive consumer testing on this. And 9 times out of 10, I can tell you that people will have goals more in red, so not achievable, than green. And this is,
Okay.
they'll get advice.
So at a high level, and I'm not sort of suggesting, but it looks like you guys are definitely going down, or you've gone down the route of wanting to do most things that an advice business would need to do at a business management, new client engagement, document delivery, and service management level.
Yeah, exactly right. So we'll never be arrogant and say that we can do absolutely everything, but our aim was always to be able to give 80% plus of what a practice would need.
Yeah.
And supplement with any other software if you want to.
So with that out of the way, I'm really keen to understand because, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. I want to know how you guys got started. How long have you been around? Who started it? Who was the team, and what was the drive behind it?
Yeah, that's a good question. And the brilliant vision behind AI is Jackie Henderson, our CEO. So how it started with Jackie is Jackie used to run her own financial planning practice, and she saw all the inefficiencies of running a practice. She had to pay for 20 different software solutions to do this.
Yep.
She was never able to track how her clients are going, live goals tracking, which we have in AI.
Yeah.
And she had a tech background, and she decided that we needed to do something, and this is how AI started. So we had a first version of the platform, and the second version started. So Advice Intelligence, what we're talking about today, started in 2016.
2016. What was the first version called?
Advisor Intelligence, and then we changed it to Advice Intelligence.
Why?
Different technical teams. I won't go into too much details there, but we've realized that to build the platform that we wanted, we needed to have the right people within the team, and this is what we've done. So from 2016 onwards, so I think I joined the team in 2017. So 6 months, about 6 months from inception.
Okay.
Yeah, I met Jackie the first time, and it took about 30 minutes for her to convince me to join the team and be part of the company, of the whole project. It's brilliant what we were trying to achieve, because the first thing is we're doing something completely new. We've designed a platform that never been done before, right? We didn't want to do something that's already there. That ability, as I said, to turn goals-based advice from a philosophy into a methodology is what makes AI so unique.
Where were you when she pitched it to you? Were you having a drink somewhere, or was it in the office?
So we met over coffee, and that's it.
And what was the pitch? What got you?
I just that what I just said before. So we all massive believers in goals-based advice. We think everything should be about the clients, what they want to achieve in life, how to get them to get to their life aspirations. And when she pitched it to me, I said, "Yep, I'm sold. When can I start?" And this is it. 6 years later, I'm still around.
To go from being a practice owner and kind of going, "Oh, I'm sick of having all of these things together," to going, I'm not just going to solve this for myself, but I'm going to solve it on an industry level. Do you know what the motivation was to make that leap and go bigger?
Definitely. I think I've mentioned that before. It's all the inefficiencies that we have to go through as advisors. And a lot of us at AI are ex-advisors, including myself. So I've gone through using technology that would take a long time to deliver a statement of advice, or that would promote client engagement, that would allow me to track how my clients are going in terms of their goals. So just all the motivation behind what we do at AI. It's all about lifting the experience that clients go through during the financial planning process. Why do clients need to wait so long before getting to the advice or the SOA document? Why can't we deliver advice the way today's consumer interacts? We all have a smartphone, a tablet. Why are we still delivering SOAs on paper? Why can we have a live wealth map, which we produce in AI, which is basically you've given them an SOA, but that's not it. It cannot be the end. You need to be able to track your client's goals against the advice provided. So this is what drove us to build AI, is again turning goals-based advice from a philosophy, because we really believe that all advisors really care about their clients. They all want to help their clients achieve their goals. But unfortunately, there was no software before AI that would do this, that would allow you to really focus on your clients' goals and make it about them.
I absolutely agree with you. Most like if I look at all the most common motivations for the clients I work with, you can drill it down to, I reckon, 60 to 80% of people, advisors, are motivated by this desire to help. And I'd argue that a lot of advisors sometimes they care more about their client situation than many clients do. But I want to sort of dive into this goals-based thing, because I know we spoke about this, and I know I told you I was going to dive into it, because I remember when AMP, and this isn't bashing AMP, but they came out and they were like, objectives-based advice or goals-based advice. And a lot of the industry looked at it and went, what? You didn't invent that. Like, I can go back to the early 2000s and there was lifestyle-based financial planning, which is, I mean, there was aspects of it that were different, and there were flaws to that way of doing things. But for many people, the goals-based conversation is not something that's necessarily new. So why has it become such a focus recently? And in particular, why do you think, well, let's start with that question. Why do you think it's become such a focus recently and for you guys?
I think from a compliance perspective, think of it this way. If you're at a barbecue and you're talking to your neighbor, and let's just say you both invested 50,000 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And your neighbor says, my 50,000 is now, I don't know, 80,000. You're at 70,000.
Yep.
You call your advisor and you say, why does he have $10,000 more? All right. I'm not happy. I want to sue you. I'm not happy at all.
Yep.
If you think about their goal, right? If you say, okay, we'll start at 50 and we'll grow it to this because this will allow you to hit this goal of, let's say, doing some house renovation. And you've proved to them that you've captured the goal and that you've helped them hit that goal. So it went from red to green. You have a high probability that it's been achieved. It's been marked as a goal that has been achieved in the system. You've done well for your client. So again, it's not just about investment. It's about the client's goals. You're making sure that everything you're doing relates to them ticking those boxes and achieving what they want to do in life. This is from a compliance perspective, but also advisors want to be able to engage with their clients on a different level. It's boring to just talk about numbers, right? How much money do you have in Super? See, your Super went up by $2,000. They don't care about this. What they care about is, right, when it gets to age 65 or age 67, when it's time for me to start working, will I have the peace of mind to know that I will be able to achieve the goals that I have in retirement? This is what it's about.
Yeah.
What you want to achieve at different parts in your life. And this is where the whole goals-based advice conversation comes in. And goals-based advice conversation, along with a value-based conversation, really allows advisors to go deep and understand who their clients are. It's not like a generic conversation that you're having with all clients. It's about really understanding who each of them are as individuals and tailoring a plan based on this.
Couldn't agree with you more. And I think most advisors who have been through a downturn in the markets at least more than once will tell you that if your proposition is, I'm going to get you this return or that return, and you have a couple of bad years, it's a difficult time. I guess the point I'm trying to understand is I feel like there's a lot of advisors who have been doing this for a long period of time. So in which case, why has it taken so long for software systems, I mean, if this is the case, to catch up on this conversation? Because my point is if the proposition that you got going out with is goals-based and you're unique, that means there's a freaking massive disconnect between the conversations that a lot of advisors are having and the software systems that are designed to support them. Do you get where I'm going?
Correct. And I couldn't agree more there. This is exactly what's happening. So I know that advisors have the best intentions of their clients. So you're having a goals-based conversation with your clients when you're meeting them in your first meeting, in your second meeting. Unfortunately, when you're going to your financial planning software, it has nothing to do with goals-based advice. So it's product-driven, and you lose all that great conversation that you've had with your clients. What we've done is we've bridged the gap between that first or second conversation that you have with your clients and your financial planning solution, the software that you can use to then provide advice. Because again, everything revolves around your clients' goals and their life aspirations.
You know what? Let's have a bit of a pop quiz here. Bianca, Dan, Daryl, Lindsay, Rachel, Will, if you can jump over to the chat box, I'd love to know, in the way that you give advice or the way that you did give advice, or I want to know, where do you sit on this sort of on this spectrum? 5 being the absolute focus of your conversation with new clients and existing clients, when you do a review, is the goals. 3 would be, you know what, we do have goals, but it's also, there's a significant portion of it that's about returns. And on the other hand, 1 is just, it's all returns. That we're primary focused on the goals are kind of secondary to the strategies and the outcomes. So jump into the chat, because I really want to know. Daryl, thank you very much, Daryl. He's a 4. So you're kind of really strong on the advisor side, on the goal side. But I don't know, Daryl, that's definitely part of your conversation because it's a skill of yours. Rachel, absolutely. It was all about the goals. Dan is very much on the goals end of things. Will, how about you? Bianca, ditto. Lindsay, I'd love to know. Bianca, 5, always to ensure, 5 goals. Absolutely, aligned to the goals. So what's coming out? Will, feel free to jump in. Same, Lindsay. Yeah, it's kind of, this is where I'm sort of getting to, and this has been my gut feeling, that maybe it's just the people who are coming and rocking up and being part of these conversations. But my feeling is that the vast majority of advisors who are moving forward with this stuff, they're absolutely on board with the goals-based thing. So it's interesting to have a discussion about the fact that, that this is maybe an area that is underserviced in the software market. Should we talk a little bit about the journey you guys have been on?
Yeah, sure.
So 2016, right? You 2017, you joined. How much different did advice intelligence look like back then? Like, we've got the wheel there. What were you guys doing that was different?
It was a completely different solution to start with. So everyone joining the team now, I tell them, you guys are so lucky, because it's a complete proposition that we can provide to the advice world. But when I started, we had to have a clear plan of what we wanted to achieve. Step 1 when I started was, let's take our prototype to the market, right? Not just to advisors. We took it to the FBA Congress, I remember, in 2017 in Tasmania. We had a little prototype, and what we wanted to do is show it to the advice world, to advisors. Okay. Everyone told us, can I have it now? Which was great. So we needed validation from the advice world, from advisors. And we said, okay, we already have a lot of interest. What do? Do we build a whole platform and then go to market? This would take a long time. We decided to build in trenches, in different phases. So the first version of AI came out in 2018, and it did cash flow and insurance.
Yep.
And we've had people on the journey with us since then. And we often ask them, we only did cash flow and insurance. Why did you move to AI? Because they believe in our vision and what we're trying to do. So we're so grateful to those people, because they gave us some really good feedback as well on what we were doing. And from there, from a cash flow insurance tool, we added super, pension, investment, property, among so many different scope of advice that we now have in the system. So investment, both direct on the platform.
Okay.
And debt strategies as well.
Okay. So it's kind of been just, classic Silicon Valley stuff, which is build your minimum viable, get it out there, and then start to build upon it. It's a smart strategy. And is there anything which has been removed or has fallen to the wayside that you just decided we're not going to do that anymore?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. And when you're designing a platform that's never been built before, you're bound to make mistakes. So there are times that we went a certain direction and we said, if we do this, we won't get the final outcome that we want. So again, it's like you've written code and you throw it away and then you start again. But we always want to get it right for our users. There's some core principles in the way we deliver the software, really focus on user experience.
So what's been an example of something that just didn't work?
We sort of looked at different partners for, let's say, bank data feeds. So we've worked with someone and we were promised that there wouldn't be a lot of manual entry from our users. And then when it came into fruition, we saw that there's too much manual entry for our users, and we don't want this, right? We have a core principle at AI that says that you should never enter the same piece of information twice.
Okay.
So every single person that we try to work with, and we have many different partners on this project, of course, we ensure that they also follow this. So, and everything is built within the system anyway. What I mean by that is, obviously, we need research. If you want to be a comprehensive platform, you're not just doing strategy modeling, you need research. So we've partnered with companies like Trent West, Effie, Fund Info, Omnium for insurance. We get data feeds from Investment Link. We take the research, we take their data, but we create our own comparator tools. And the reason we do that is we can maintain the same UX throughout the platform. So whether you're using our insurance tool or you're using our investment tool, you're going through the same process. It makes it really easy for advisors to learn how to use the system as well, because everything is very, very similar.
It's interesting. Let's talk. I know we were going to talk about this a bit later, but let's talk about data feeds because they come up. For me, when I'm working in the business, data feeds have got to be in the top 3 issues that businesses bump into every single time, whether it's the quality of the data, whether it's mapping them, whether it's the fact they don't exist. Can you give us a bit of background? What is it about data in this industry that is so bloody hard to get right?
Yeah, I think there's no standard format for data feeds through the different providers. That's probably problem number 1.
Okay.
So it makes it hard for companies like ourselves sometimes to go and get feeds from certain providers. Some are closed completely, so they would say, no, we don't provide data feeds. But there are some great companies in the market, right? On the cash flow data feed side of things, on super investment pension data feeds like Investment Link that AI has partnered with, that allows us to get those feeds and push them into the system. Remember, AI is a goals-based advice solution. We cannot be a goals-based advice solution without data feeds, because we need to be able to track and show clearly how you're tracking against the advice. So let's say you've invested money in shares. As it goes up and up, hopefully for the client, your goal probability, because there's a goal link to that investment, goes up as well.
Yep. So is there anything happened recently that's going to make this easier?
Sure. There's some, different providers coming to the market now. We've seen that Class has been bought by Hub24, part of the Hub24 family now.
Okay.
And Class had feeds that, probably other providers will have access to now, which opens, the data feeds for more people, for more providers like ourselves to go get those feeds and then push them back to our users. It's so important to be able to do that, because at the end of the day, if we want to move from fact finding to producing an SOA and then track against the advice, we need feeds. We need more feeds. Open banking will also help with this. We're still, waiting on the promises of open banking, and hopefully it's not too long where, you could go in and get all your clients' data directly through open banking rather than having to get them to enter information.
How long ago did open banking come in though?
I did come in. Yeah, I think we started talking about open banking 4 years ago, and
it's 4 years, right? I mean, and this is the interesting thing. When I was in the States a few years ago now, but we were talking about one of the fundamental differences. If you go and look at the US banking systems, they're so old and they're creaking. One of the guys over there he was running a Bitcoin sort of company, and he said they once ran a test where they transferred money from a major bank to a regional bank, and they were then able to transfer the money back out without having to request permission from the smaller bank, because the systems are just so archaic. But you come over here in Australia and the systems are actually pretty good.
Yep.
But the portability of the data, it's almost like there's artificial walls that are put up just to make it really bloody hard for everybody. And I think often advisors are the people that end up copying it.
I agree 100%. And that's what I meant before by there's no standardized format.
Yeah, that's an issue.
Yeah. And once we get there, everything will be easier. Can we get there? For sure. And I think we need to push towards the nirvana state. It takes time to get there, but I guess, we need to be ambitious, and we need to be able to, if we want to first lower the cost to serve advice, bring more strengths to advice, we need advisors to be able to go from fact finding to producing an SOA quicker, not, spending hours and hours on one client scenario.
Because it's crazy. The whole data matching is like you've got, and we're just using names. You got Netwealth. Let's say they've got a field that says first name, and then you go over to BT and they've got a field that says Christian name. And then you go over to another part and we've got a field that says name. Something so simple. If we just come up with, okay, that's the name I'm going to call it, we wouldn't have so many of these issues flying around. But I guess the other point is, if you look at data sets, there's very few businesses that have such a large set of data about their clients as financial advice businesses.
Correct. Agreed. Yeah. I think the standard fact find has 900 data points, which is crazy, right? That's a standard fact find. So it's a lot of information. And that's like a small fact find I'm talking about. So it can be even more than that.
I don't think doctors actually keep that much information, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there was a whole thing a year ago where they're trying to put together a universal medical database. But even then, if you think, when you fill in a fact find for the doctor, what is it, 1 page?
True. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. Let's sort of take it forward, because I'm keen to talk about the future. And ultimately, whenever I speak to people who are in the business of building software, typically they're building software based on a future case, right? Like, otherwise, why would you add features to it? In other words, you're working towards something. So I want to hear from you guys. Where do you, as a business and as an individual, where do you see advice going over the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, I think that's a really great question again. I think I'll start by talking about what I believe is a non-debate in our industry. So we've heard words thrown around like robo-advice, etc. Will robo-advice replace advisors? My answer to this is no. Why? The human element of financial planning is where the magic lies. This is where you're able to talk to your clients, to have your clients confide in you and saying, I'm struggling with my debts. I'm struggling with money. I'm not too sure how I'm going to send my kids to private school. I really want to move to a bigger house, but I don't know how to get there. Those are the things that, you will never be able to achieve through robo-advice. I think we need a hybrid model. And this is where I believe the industry is going. We need to stop talking about robo-advice versus human advisors. For me, it's absolute rubbish. I really want advisors to focus on the fact that technology is there to assist them, not to replace them.
Yeah.
A robot can never replace an advisor. I look at it this way.
Yeah.
How much better are we with a smartphone in our hand? You're walking around, you're lost, okay, I don't know where I am. How do I get back to where I want to be? Easy. Yeah. Takes 2 minutes and I get back to where I want to be. Advice tech and advisors have a fusional relationship. They work together. They go hand in hand. And this is what we want to bring to the industry, where we can help maybe to optimize the advice. So you don't have to spend so much time trying to get the advice right. Your technology can do that for you. We already do that in AI to ensure that we have a really accurate goal probability. Maybe we can talk about this at a later stage. But I guess for us, where we see advice going is that ability to rely on your advice tech to ensure that first the advice is accurate, but also you can get from where you want to be, from the start to where you want to be quicker and reduce the cost to serve, but also allow you to look at other markets.
Yep.
It really is makes me sad when people say that, I don't think I can get advice, I can't afford it. And I understand advisors. I've been one. I understand, there's a high cost to serve. But if we can reduce that cost to serve with really good technology, so even if your clients, let's say they come to you with huge debt issues, there's no investment there, you need to solely focus on cash flow and debt instead of pushing them away. You can look after them and turn them from someone with huge debt issues to someone that you can give investment advice later on. You'll have a client for life.
It's interesting. There's all this discussion. I think the FSC put out a paper recently about what they sort of saw, and they came up with one of the areas, but I'm surprised it's not being pushed home more strongly or stronger. Anyway, whatever. Is that I think we need a situation where the kind of advice document that's produced for advice that has no product relationship with a product. It's just telling people that you need to do certain things right. Why we shouldn't have to have an extended long statement of advice document. We should be able to have something that can be produced really, really quickly. Mm-hmm. Whether it's a letter of advice or whether it's a statement that's produced out of a portal like yours, that we can, because otherwise, if someone comes to you and says, I need some help just doing some basic things and getting control of my debt, doing my cash flow, and you have got to have a conversation that says, well, my minimum fee starts at $4,000. Yeah. That's true. I mean, there's a difference between not being able to afford something and there not being value in paying for something. Like I had a conversation here with Martin Morris, who's a phenomenal sounding board on my program, and he made the point that a lot of advisors right now feel they can't necessarily afford a business coach. That's true unless you turn around and go, well, you look at a business and go, well, the benefit to your business, we can increase your profitability by 100,000, your revenue in year one, and that'll increase. And this is the whole thing. It's a question of people can't, it's not necessarily about afford, but if the advisor's sitting there and go, I can't see how this advice is going to result in an outcome that is worth you paying that,
sure,
that's 100% an issue. Can I ask sort of a quick question about this piece? Because when I think about robo advice, and I think you're spot on, there's two elements to this that really matter. The first one is about menial tasks. Like, as you know, technology is really good for picking tasks that are simple, repeatable. If you want to automate a task, don't take something that is difficult and complex and requires subjective. But if you've got something that you just like clicking, that's it. This for me is a big one. Like, there's how many, you guys must be listening to this and going, there's some things that you just sit there and you're doing over and over again. I mean, that's a big part of it, taking the stuff that is menial and making it easier to do, right?
Yeah, exactly right. And I think this is where advice tech brings a lot of efficiency as well. Taking things, as you said, that are repeatable, put them into workflows, right? Get the system to do that for you. Try to automate sending emails to your clients rather than you having to sit there and focus 100%. On the important things, which are talking to clients, understanding where they are, where they want to be.
That's what matters.
Get new clients for your practice, grow the business, right? Unfortunately, and I think all advisors listening to us today will agree with this, they spend so much time having to write file notes to all the compliance requirements, etc., that unfortunately maybe they only have 20% of their time to be advisors. And for me, being an advisor is sitting with your client, understanding who they are, getting deep. Sometimes, and a lot of time, clients would confide in the advisor. Like, it's hard to tell anyone, hey, I have a huge debt issue. I've just put 20 grand on my credit card. But the advisor ends up being that person, right? That they confide and say, I've messed up, right? So advisors have such a deep relationship with their clients, and the work 100%. Is so amazing. And I think this is where the focus should be. And this is where advice tech should come in, allow them to be advisors and take away all those repetitive tasks, and talking about like the industry, it's been paper-based for a long time as well, right? So if we can evolve the industry to a digital advice process, you're also going to save a lot of time because you're not printing paper, getting them to sign, checking if everything's okay, right? So just think how much time you would save if you start to evolve your practice towards a digital solution. I think this is where advisors can really see the benefits of advice. But
Jason makes a really good point, and I wanted to just mention it. I did because I didn't read it in full. We're doing this into a large extent, but unfortunately, we're governed by disclosure at some point where we know there's a product that suits. We'd love to just have advice, but we still need product disclosure. I take your point, and again, we're talking about the legislation. But ultimately, if someone comes and says, "I need to," cash flow is a really good example. We've got a lead magnet on our website, which is called the 20% spending system. And it's a white label thing we put to clients, and it outlines the bucket system. It's the profit first system. Now that is advice which is really valuable and really important, but I don't have to recommend a bank account in order to mobilize that. And that's kind of where I'm coming from. And if there are situations where the licensee is saying, or your compliance consultants are saying that you need to do X, Y, and Z, that's the point at which I think we've got a disconnect between the consumer need and the problems that we can help solve and the hoops we're made as an industry to jump through for reasons that are unrelated to what's happening. Nice, Dan. I love that. Hey, can we just talk about, sorry, I'm jumping all over the place, but the one area I did want to talk about, particularly when it's robo advice, is portals.
Yeah.
You guys have got you've got a really strong strategy about providing every advisor that joins. They've got a client portal where they do fact finding. They can get their SOA delivered. You do review fact finding. I'm guessing that you see that portals are going to become more and more important and more a part of the way a business operates.
I agree. And I think cybersecurity is the hot topic at the moment. And just look at it this way. What is safer, sending or getting your clients to send important information about their current financial position, like statements, etc., via email, or using a secured client portal with multi-factor authentication? think there's a lot of words being thrown now. Multi-factor authentication is one of them. What is it? So if you want to tell your clients to use a portal that will allow them every time they log in to get a secure code sent to their mobile to authenticate that it's them logging in, this is our client portal. And the reason we've done that is we want clients to be able to confidently exchange information with the advisors and vice versa using the one platform. So every practice using AI can give that access to that client portal to all their clients. And that's just part of what we do as well. We don't charge extra for this because we realize that there's a massive security benefit of doing this. To change the behavior of doing it, through a lot of paper or doing it via email, it's so much better to do it through a secured platform. And as you've rightly said as well, you can use the portal throughout the financial planning process. So getting the clients to provide their documents, their digital fact find that can be customized to each practice needs, doing your review meetings, getting clients to log in and see how they're tracking against their goals, but also, dropping documents from the advice login. You can quickly drop a document for your clients and send them a message and say, hey, I've dropped this there. Can you just review it and make sure it's all good? So it's just a different way of looking at advice and different way of doing things that will allow practices to be more efficient.
It's funny, multi-factor authentication is a big one, by the way. And I had an experience about a year and a half ago where someone managed to hack my Facebook account. I've got two of them. One's a sort of Aldera one. It took me about a day and a half to hack it back. And the one thing I realized that is when someone gets into your, particularly something like a Facebook account or a Google account, and you do not have multi-factor authentication, you are done. There is no way you are getting back in. If you do have it, they actually have to basically clone your phone number. I mean, it can be done, but they have to get your phone number. So if you haven't got multi-factor authentication on anything that's important, whack it on, because it's going to tell you. I was getting one at 3 a.m. for about 2 weeks. Someone was trying to hack one of my accounts, but because it was coming through and it was asking for permission, really, really key. Jason's asking, would you have a link into the AI portal from their website that clients could access? The answer to that is
correct. 100%. Yeah, you can have a link to both the interactive discovery, which is the first part, the client engagement part, but also a link to log in to the client portal, which we call the Wealth app.
And the way it works is as soon as you decide to work with a client, the part of your onboarding process is you set them up, they go in, they log in, they have to set themselves up as a user. There's another key component of this, which I think is really key, which is a lot of businesses have used portals in the past. My Prosperity is a good example. But if you don't make it central to the way that you communicate and work with clients, in other words, you don't adopt it as your central point of contact, then your clients are not going to either. There's a great book on this by Nir Eyal called Hooked. And he talks about the adoption in the tech space and what they know about it. And I think one of the keys to efficiency in the way that clients interact with your business, one of the keys to having a really retained client base who are engaged and getting efficient in the delivery of information, portal is, for me, and I think you agree with this, is going to become an absolute must-have within the next 5 years.
I agree. I think not even the next 5 years. I think it starts now with everything happening with practices, making sure that they understand the implications of someone hacking in and stealing the client's data, etc.
100%.
Yeah, you've got to put measures in place today. It has to start today for you to be able to, over time, be completely bulletproof. Right at the end of the day, you're dealing with extremely important information, confidential information about your clients. You want to ensure that all those are kept in a very secured manner.
Do you ever get the feeling, in particular, you've been doing this in 2017, have you got the sense that advisors and their businesses are starting to move a little bit faster than licensees in the industries? Not everything, by the way, Rachel. But what the space they're moving into is possibly a little quicker than even you guys would probably imagine.
Yeah, and guess what? COVID helped a lot with this, right? And the way we've designed AI was always for the software to be a client-facing solution. So the same tool that you use to, work on your modeling, your research, etc., can be used in front of clients to demonstrate the value of advice. So when COVID hit and advisors started working from home, so you don't have the ability to sit with your clients, draw on a whiteboard, they realized the need for software that's client facing that can easily demonstrate the value of their work. But you're right there. There's also sometimes a disconnect between advisors and what they want to do and what they're allowed to do by certain licenses. And it's a matter of also trying to push the boundaries, having conversations with many different licenses. And I definitely think that things are moving in the right direction. Everyone sees that the next big push is about technology for our industry. If we want to bring more Australians to advice, if we want to help advisors reduce the cost of advice, the only way to do that is via technology.
I agree. And by the way, I just want to put it out there. There are some licensees that are really, really keen to adopt these things. But ultimately, when you're a small business, you can go out and literally make a decision to adopt a system. As Jen will say, that's not always a good thing. Sometimes you need to slow down. But licensees are obviously, they've got to focus on a number of different people. I think even then, there are some licensees that are really pushing it as hard as they possibly can. Jason makes a really good point. I want to put this in. Often the issue when we seem to find when we review these systems is there are gaps. So we have to use other systems to fill the gaps. APIs are often not good enough to create seamless links. Ash, what are your thoughts on that? I have thoughts, but I want to ask you.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And this is why we've taken a very different direction, right? The buzzword a few years back was build your own tech stack, right? So advisors should take this one, try to link it with the other platform. We've taken a very different direction. As I said earlier, our aim is to be able to provide 80% of what you need onto the one platform. And the reason we've done that is first, it's going to reduce your cost because you're paying for one platform, not 15, right? To do 80% of your work. And yes, every platform will have gaps.
Yep.
Experiences from the get-go, because when I started AI, as I said, we were a cash flow and insurance tool in 2018, but it's a matter of telling people where you're at, them understanding how AI will bring benefits to their practice. And obviously, we grow together. As our platform grows, we hope your practice is growing as well. It's a very fusional relationship. And the people that's been with AI since 2018, we absolutely love them for all the feedback they've given us, but also for sticking with us, right? Because I'm sure they could have gone somewhere and have a little bit more, but they understood our why, our vision of what we're trying to achieve for the industry. And we're so happy now to be able to give them something that's so comprehensive, where they came with us on a promise and we've been able to deliver part of that promise. We're not finished yet. And that's the approach we take as well. We're never going to say, we're amazing now and that's it. We always look at improving what we're doing. It's a never ending process. And this is how you keep getting better and better.
And there's nothing like legacy pricing when you join at the beginning, you're still paying the same amount. Look, I want to add that APIs are always not good enough. Like whether you're using API or unless you actually know how to code an API, and you're never going to build something without the skills, which kind of boils down to one of the key things, which is, there's a rule of automation, which is the more automation you have, the more important human oversight becomes.
Yep.
And I think if you're in a practice that you're trying to do things that are out of the box, then you're going to need someone in your practice who understands how it works. Debbie French, if you're watching this later, is an example of somebody who understands how this works. Otherwise, the other thing I'll put forward, and this is kind of alternate view, I take your point. There is definitely no system that can hand on heart, tick all boxes and go, we can do everything brilliantly. But one of the other issues is, and a few practices have seen, a few providers have seen this, is if you're absolutely tied to your business model and you don't want to change any part of it, then truly the only way you're going to be able to enable that is by building your own technology. So it's a bit of give and take. And if you're going to go down this all-in strategy and you're going to go, I just want one system, one source of truth, 80-20, you've got to compromise. And you've got to realize there's going to be some things that you want to do, but you're going to have to park it and go, maybe we'll do it in the future and find a middle ground.
Yeah, I agree. And also, the way we work at AI is every single practice that joins the platform gets assigned with their own dedicated, we call it our onboarding specialist.
Yep.
It's like your own dedicated account manager. And the reason we do that is they sit with you, they understand how you work, they understand your processes, and then they look at AI and they say, look, if you were to do this way using AI, you probably save 20% of your time. You won't have to send the same email 20 times. We can automate it for you, or we can build a workflow that will take care of all that. We can build workflows that will allow you to train new members new staff members if your business is booming and growing. So this is the approach we take. We really want you to work with us. And it's not like you're going to spend hours talking to AI on a weekly basis. We ask you for an hour per week. If you can give us an hour per week, we are going to show you the benefits of AI from the get-go.
So we're coming up to about the 50-minute mark. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk about if you're on this webinar or you're watching it later on, and you kind of, you know what, I'd like to know more about it. You know, we've deliberately stayed out of the features and benefits because, you know, while I kind of call it the beauty parade, it can be useful, but it's not always clarifying. We've sort of already indicated the kind of business that would suit. If someone wants more information, what is the next step they would typically take in sort of approaching this with you?
Yeah, sure. I guess you can go onto our website and book a demo. We run webinars 3 times a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays. If those day and times don't work for you, that's perfectly fine. You can also reach out to us and request a one-on-one demo of the platform.
Okay.
Happy for Stuart to share my details. If you want to have a private conversation about AI or implementing AI for your business, happy to do this. One thing that I'm going to say as well, sorry, Stuart, I know you're about to say something.
Go.
We knew from the get-go. So when I joined AI, one thing that we discussed was it's not just going to be software versus software, feature versus feature. It's about the service surrounding the platform, and we're huge on this. That's why we've built one of the most impressive onboarding service that you will experience, having that dedicated person linked to you, catching up every week for an hour, working with you, configuring your documents, your fee documents, your SOA, your ROAs. But it's not just someone that will upload your logo to your documents. Again, these onboarding specialists are experts in change management. They really want to sit with you and see how you can improve efficiency within your practice. It makes a huge difference. We know that change can be hard, right? And that willingness to change is what we want to provide to you with that dedicated onboarding service. We want you to see the benefits of AI from the very beginning. And after your onboarding, so like you're left on your own, you have a support team that you can access. You can talk to our training team, but also every time we deliver a new feature that's major, like data feeds, we would run special webinars because we want you to be part of it. If we're building a huge feature, we may even reach out to you and say, hey, we're about to release this. We'd love some input or validation. What do you think? So just a different approach of working with advisors. We're not just building software and telling them this is the best thing in the world. We actually bring them together with us in the journey and getting a validation from the advisor world, just ensure that what we're building will be fit for purpose.
Yeah. Being part of a beta testing program is great. You get to see everything, and you even though sometimes it doesn't work as intended, it's just great to be involved in this kind of functionality. So if someone comes along to a demo, what are you going to cover?
We try to give an end-to-end view of the system, right? So we've talked about the interactive discovery, which is the lead generation tool. We want to show the CRM capabilities. And also we want to show what we do in terms of ongoing services, service packages, how we allow you to be extremely efficient in that space. And at the end, you'll see all the strategy modeling, how to do all your research, and also producing an SOA at the end. So try to give you an end-to-end approach. And then obviously, if you'd like a deep dive into the software or focus on one part, we're more than happy to offer one-on-one sessions as well, where we're not just showing you the software, but we also look for you. We want you to understand how you operate so we can then tailor any presentation based on this.
Because you're going to have all those high Ds on the disc profile or the Cs. They're like, I don't want to talk, just show me this or show me this or show me this and this also. And we talked a little bit earlier about if there's someone watching this and they're a coaching client, is there a special offer we can pop in there? Do we agree on this or?
Yeah, sure. Happy to do that. So happy to give your clients the first month off. And again, we just don't want to give you 1 month off and see you later. It's a month off for every 12 months you're on AI, you only pay for 11 months.
That's all right.
One month off every year on a recurring basis.
And on top of that, if someone is seriously thinking about it and you're on the program, we've been talking about doing this since last year, and it's just, we kind of need a test case. I'm very keen to work with Ash and the onboarding team to actually grab some of our templates and tools from the program and do all that, Jason. Well, it doesn't have to be discriminatory. You can come on board, Jason, and we can do it.
I'll look after you.
We're keen to create a version of advice intelligence, which is basically our dairy enabled. So that this would be a great opportunity if you're thinking down this route. And by the way, if you're thinking of engaging with a coach, I'm also very happy to sit down and have a chat with you, Jason, and talk a little bit about what we do and whether or not there's a benefit there. Anyway, pitch over, mate. So yeah, man, this has been incredibly useful. Any closing thoughts that you want to put out there about where we're headed, about the state of play in general?
Yeah, I guess from my point of view, first, thank you so much for having me on this. Yeah, I really enjoyed having a chat with you about advice technology and, about the whole company. I guess we really want advisors to embrace technology. It's a fusional relationship, and I want to be able to show advisors how AI can enhance all their processes, can allow them to go from fact finding to producing a statement of advice quicker. But not just this, how it will allow you to have really deep, meaningful conversations with your clients that you can then take into our software to demonstrate the value of your work.
I love it. Daryl's got to run, but he says the capabilities in general, he's been really impressed with. Thank you so much, Daryl, and enjoy the rest of your Friday. Dan says setting up a client link on your website to the client portal. Man, I mean, that was when I sat down and first met with, I think it was you both actually, and you walked me through it. That was the thing that hit me home, because from an experiential point of view, having this place where you can gather data and do that sort of stuff, incredibly powerful. Love to know the key gaps and how comprehensive the onboarding process and how you deal with 20 plus path practice with varying personalities. How would it flow across the multidisciplinary practice? This is a great conversation you guys should have, because I don't know about you, but I actually find that when you are rolling out a really powerful tool, that is actually a better way of doing things across a whole, a large practice, in particular multidisciplinary practice. It actually makes it easier because it gives you the ability to do things in a similar way because you have that track. What's your thoughts, Ash? Is that your experience?
I agree. And at the end of the day, you can create workflows based on different types of clients that you're servicing as well, right? But at least you have them built onto the one platform rather than having to use different platforms to service different clients. I would love to talk to you about this in more details, maybe outside of this.
100%. Look, to give you the background, Jason, I've worked with one of my longest serving clients, WealthMed. I started working with them when they were like 12 staff, and now they've got 36. And what we found as we move forward is that the ability to have tools, whether they're visual tools or frameworks or technology, it's gotten alignment. And they've got property departments, they've got an accounting department, they've got a financial planning department. So I actually think getting this right has massive ROI impacts for larger practices. You could argue that's even more ROI. No problem. We are really looking for something to replace advisor logic. Amy, we'll jump in and have a look at it. I mean, there's certain aspects of this that are worth getting your head around, but it really depends what you're looking to replace, I guess. Dan said, finding a CRM provider that wants to work with you and improve your business rather than gouge you for fees. Ow! Flat fees are a step in the right direction. I agree with this. I think one of the things about I'm going to say having this, you've got to have an individual user fee tends to make people share logins. And when you're trying to have a tool that tracks compliance, sharing logins, it doesn't really work. But anyway, we'll go to that. Amy's keen to have it as well. It's great to have a chat. Perfect. There we go. We've got a little discussion going on. Mate, this has been awesome. I really appreciate it. Guys, if you would like to make contact, either go to the website. Is that the best way or so reach out to you personally?
I'm really happy to share my details. So
fire away.
Yeah, maybe we can just pop it in the chat.
Well, put it in the chat, or why don't I give me?
Yeah, I'll just do it now. So yeah, my number, probably the best way to reach me. So
okay,
0421.
0421.
Yep. 064.
064.
550.
550, and it's Ash Mahadeea. Have I said that right?
That's it. Yeah,
nice. And 2 E's, 1 A, right? Is that right?
That's it, mate. You got it right. Well done.
Oh man, I'm like a native, like a native French speaker, mate. This has been awesome, guys. Thank you so much for coming along and sticking around. Thank you to those of you who've really kicked in with the questions. What are you up to for the rest of the day, Ash?
Just work, I guess. And my partner got COVID today, so I guess.
Oh man. Amy, the recording will always be available for members. It'll be on our members site. All you have to do is search Ash's name. If you're a non-member, head over to our YouTube channel, Our Dairy Coaching and Consulting on YouTube, and we will add this recording along with every recording of the masterclass we've done for the past 3 or 4 years. So hopefully that's everything you need. Mate, that's it from me. Enjoy the rest of your day. Do tell your partner, I hope she gets better soon. I hope she doesn't feel too bad. I found gargling with salt was really good, but I don't know whether she's got the sore throat.
I'll ask her now.
Amy, Bianca, Dan, Jason, 2 Jasons, Robert, Will, and Rachel, thank you much for joining us. Have a great Friday, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Take care. See you, Ash.
Cheers. Thanks, mate. Bye.
Bye. So there you have it. I hope you really enjoyed that one. Obviously, when I'm doing these podcasts, when I'm doing these sessions, and I do them live, they're in a visual format. So it's easy to sort of bring things up and show you the notes. But hopefully that gave you a really good sense, even though you maybe couldn't see the tool and see what we were talking about, exactly how, some of these new breeds of all-in-one, for want of a better term, tools are really, really promising some good things. As always, if you'd like to join me live for one of these, just go over to our website, check out the upcoming events from the drop-down menu, and just register and come along and be part of it. Ask questions, say hi, let me know that you're a listener. It's always good to sort of get the opportunity to meet digitally in real time. Another thing, if you're interested, for the last sort of 12 months, I've been working on a tool that I've used previously in the background to kind of analyze practices, and we call it the practice rating tool. It is now live, and I've decided rather than just keep it within the program, I wanted to make it available more widely. If you want to have a look at it, go to practicerating.com.au, and essentially what it is it's an analysis which is actually remarkably easy given the scope of it, where it'll go through and analyze your business against the 9 key areas of the program I've created, the Leverage Vice Firm program. And even better than that, it'll give you a custom report off the back end, which also includes analysis of something we call the journey to leverage, which is an important overlay for me about understanding the stage of growth and advice practices. Because you know what? You may have 10 things you need to work on, but the most important thing you need to work on right now is the thing that's going to get you out of this phase of growth and into the next one, if that's what your goal is. Really importantly, off the back of that, it gives you this custom PDF report. And you know why I find it really useful? I not only find it really useful when I'm working with businesses on where they want to start their journey, but this is something that I encourage every business I work with to do every year, because it's also a great benchmarking tool. And the best bit is, guess what? It's free. So if you're looking for a quick analysis to understand, how you benchmark in a quick way against some of the practices who I've worked with through the program, and importantly, you want a tool that you can come back to every 6 months, every 12 months to understand and have that real data set on how you're progressing, head over to practicerating.com.au, just pop in there, and very painless and simple process. Other than that, I will see you on another episode of The Finnovator soon. Take care.